Let's play some APBA golf. Tonight, I've got with me my good buddy, John Thompson, who's going to be playing Bobby Jones, his 1930 all-time greats card. We're going to pick up where we left off last time. How are you doing, John?
Good, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing great. Right before we went live, I was noticing the differences in temperature between where you are and where I am. Although I think we're going to get some winter-like weather here in South Carolina overnight. Not true winter weather, but the temperature here right now is 67 degrees. But I think we're going to dip down into the 40s, which is kind of what we experience at wintertime around here.
And yeah, I think it's 41 here right now.
Yeah, and I can see that you're dressed the way that I would be dressed if it were 41 at my house. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, so for anybody that might not have seen the last video of John and me playing, or you weren't able to attend the live stream, let me kind of bring you up to date with where we are. As you can see on the screen here, John is going to be playing Bobby Jones, and I'm going to be playing Dustin Johnson, his 2022 card. And we're picking up where we left off at Sandhills. Now, let me turn on this little thing that makes my cursor look yellow there, so it's a little bit easier to follow what I'm doing. I'm going to jump over here to the game caddy, and here's our scorecard from the last time we played, and actually the time before that, because the first part one of this video series was the front nine, part two was the back nine. At the end of 18 holes, we were not tearing up the course, that's for sure, but we're both tied at 5 over par, which at Sandhills is a 75. You can see it's a par 70. Now, part of the reason for that, I think, is because neither John nor I are all that familiar with the course. I maybe played it one time before, can't even remember much about that. And John, is this the first time you're playing this course?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the other, I think, big reason is we're playing with blustery conditions, blustery wind, and a soaked course. And I see over here that we've got a visitor. So Doug Sessions has showed up for the live stream. How are you doing, Doug? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate your support. Doug, do you have a favorite, Jones or Johnson? Either one of these guys? See, we'll give Doug a second to weigh in, see if he wants to on that. We were talking last time, part of the challenge with playing with both of these guys is that neither of them are really great putters by APBA great standards, right? Now, you had more luck with Bobby Jones managing to get around 18 holes with just 26 putts. But it took me 29, which is not terrible by APBA golf standards, but it's not going to set any records either. And okay, so Doug says that he likes both Jones and Johnson, doesn't appear to have a favorite, and Matt Rockwood is here, and he's asking, is this an 18-hole playoff? Would that it were, Matt. No, 18 holes while you're doing a live stream would probably take us well into the middle of the night and well past my bedtime. Although, John's such a competitor, I'm sure he would be up for that if I agreed to it. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of like a players' championship playoff. And what I mean by that is we're going to play 3 holes. We're going to play holes 16, 17, and 18. And if there is a winner, meaning someone with the lowest aggregate score after those 3 holes are played, then the playoff's over. However, if we're tied in terms of score after playing holes 16, 17, 18. Then we're going to move into a sudden death format. And I've gone ahead and selected randomly, I used the random number generator to do this, selected randomly the 15 holes and the order in which they will occur if we end up in sudden death. Now, that could go all 18 holes, but something tells me that's not likely to happen. So I'll save some suspense in terms of what those holes look like until we get closer to that point. Okay. And I see that Doug says that Bobby Jones was an amazing player for his time. Well, that's one great thing about APBA golf, right? Is that you get to play players from one era against players from a different era, and that's what we're going to do tonight.
It's probably one of the only sports that APBA created that can do that, in my opinion.
You don't think with APBA baseball?
No, I do not.
Tell me why, John. Why do you say that?
Because I'm not a fan of APBA baseball, and I'll tell you why. It's a 50-50. It's not even a 50-50 game. You're rolling on your card. All right. The master game is much better, but the basic game is just, luck of the dice, really.
Mm-hmm.
But the golf game, you can put a 1930 player in against a 2022 player because everything balances out because you're playing the course, you're not playing the player.
Right.
Which is what golf's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we could have, I'm sure, a lengthy discussion about what APBA could do to improve the game in order to account for differences in eras, right? I mean, if you look at the DeChambos and other long ball hitters, right? The driver board for APBA golf, including, of course, it's the same board for the master game, doesn't really reflect how long some of these guys can hit the ball. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't end up with the right scoring or scoring that reflects how the golfers play today. But how you get to that scoring may be a little bit different.
Right. Now, if you put, it's my contention that if you put today's equipment in Jack Nicklaus's hands, nobody's going to touch him. Nobody. Or Arnold Palmer, how far they hit the ball with the persimmon woods. Okay.
Right.
You put a metal in his hand, he's going to hit the ball 350.
Well, I won't disagree with that, John. And it's an interesting observation. Okay, so let's get on with our playoff tonight. I want to one reason I kind of hesitated to do this immediately after we finished hole 18 last time was, believe it or not, I in all the tournaments that I've played, using the game caddy, I'd never run into a situation where I had a tie or a playoff situation at the end of a tournament, right? And I was a little bit concerned about how this would work because here's the chief limitation with the game caddy in doing playoff golf. You can't easily, I mean, you could do anything you want if you're willing to put the time and effort and do all the, copying and erasing that you'd have to do, but you can't easily replay the same hole. So in a lot of playoffs, what you'll see, of course, in real life is that they just play hole 18 or some other signature hole over and over and over again in like a sudden death format until somebody wins. Again, the game caddy is really not built to do that, but we can absolutely do what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to play 16, 17, 18, and then, pick it up from there in a sudden death format. The caveat being is we can't repeat any hole. So, whatever holes we play, we'll only play them one time. Right. Now, if you were a game caddy record book user and you wanted to save this round, and by the way, I've already done this, so I'm not going to repeat it. What I would do, because I've got to clear this scorecard, what I would do is click on export card over here. And in doing that, what it will do is it will create another spreadsheet. It's a different formatted file, but it would preserve all of the information here so that we can then go ahead and import that into the Game Caddy record book. But again, I've already done all that, so I'm not gonna take the time to do it. So all I really need to do now is to click Reset Scorecard, and what that will do, or should do, in a second here, is it wipes out all of the scoring information, both up here on the card and down here in the notes, but it preserves our players, so we don't have to re-enter that information. So when I go to load a hole, I'm just going to load hole 16. Now I'll get an error message of sorts. It's not really an error message. It's just I'll get a warning telling me that, hey, I'm loading a hole that's out of numerical sequence, and that's fine. I'll just override that. Now, I want to look over here to the chats before we get started. So Matt says, Bobby Jones having the same advantages of today's players would be a very good golfer. No disagreement with that, Matt. And then Doug says, I think that's what's so amazing about Jones, considering the ball and equipment that he used. All right. So let me jump over here to Sandhills, and let's load hole 16. There's that message I was telling you about, the new hole warning. The selected hole number is not consecutive with the previous hole number. Do you want to load this hole number? Yes. Okay, we got that hole loaded, and it's now taken us over to John's player caddy, which is caddy number 1. And the game caddy, because there's no prior hole data to work with, it defaults to player 1 teeing off first. And we can certainly do that, John, or we can flip a coin in the sense of roll the dice and do it that way. And I could force the game caddy to have me tee off first if it comes up that way. Which do you prefer?
I think we should flip.
All right. All right. So I'm going to ask you to call odd or even, and I'm going to roll the dice, and we'll use whatever the one dice roll number is to determine that. And if what you call comes up, then you get to choose whether you go first or I go first. Got it?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to press Control D.
Odd.
Odd. So you get to choose.
I'm going to hit last.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force me to hit first. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to click over here on, well, let me go over to player 2 first. I don't have to do it this way, but I just want to do it this way. I'm going to click on player 2, and that moves that little star from who's away from player 1 to player 2. So now the game caddy will know that player 2 is hitting. I don't recommend that you use this indiscriminately. If you do, you can mess up the game caddy, but in a situation like this, it's absolutely fine to change the order of hitters. And the game caddy will get back on track once we go to take our second shots. All right, let's see. Do we get any wind? Yes, we have a crosswind right. You'll remember we have blustery wind.
All right, Scott, can you make the board, the game caddy bigger?
I cannot.
Okay.
Can you see it okay?
Well, no, I've got all this. I've got the chat, and I've got you're in the show, and I've got another picture of me.
Can you close the chat?
I don't know how.
Well, so we've been doing this each time we've played, but this is the first time this has come up, so I don't know what you might be doing differently than before.
I don't know.
And when you're thinking
wait a minute, I got it.
Okay. Now you
Yep.
now you're not going to be able to see it because you probably have removed the chat from your screen, correct?
Well, the chat's going across the bottom.
Okay, well I put that there.
Okay,
So that's true.
and
That's
that's
for everybody.
and that's fine because last time I couldn't see the chat either.
Okay, so whenever anybody weighs in, I will make the effort, if I can remember, to put their message up on the screen so that everybody can see it. Because sometimes people watch these videos and they don't have the chat even open.
Sure.
This is the only way they can see it if that's the case. So Matt says, plus the great courses of today are in such great shape. Absolutely true. The players from a bygone era would love to play these well-kept greens and fairways. Absolutely true.
Agreed.
And you rarely see PGA players playing, if ever, under blustery and soaked conditions. They exist in an APBA golf, and certainly probably guys like you and I have played under those conditions, but pros generally do not. Okay. All right. So I'm going to call up the all-in-one menu here, and I'm going to show the course to everybody in just a second. All right. Got a crosswind right. I'm going to go ahead and move these cards out of the way. And let me show you the course. Okay, so Sandhills number 16, par 4, 528 yards. Here's our pin placement here, number 3, which is the same as before. And I'm going to be trying to put my tee shot somewhere down here, recognizing with that crosswind right, I may get blown a little bit right anyway. So I'm going to be thinking out loud. That may work to my disadvantage here, but just so people can understand what I'm doing. I'm going to try to keep this ball from going more than 275 yards because I don't want to end up over either in these sand traps or in this sandscape. So I'm going to try to kind of end the ball up here, which probably means a 4-wood. But let's take a look at what we got here. Yeah, we do have soaked conditions, so that 265 would probably end up with something like a 25 roll, but it would lose 15 yards roll because of the soaked conditions. So that's 10 yards. So that would put me right at 275. So I think I'm going to go with that, and I may end. I'm going to aim a little bit to the right anyway. Let me take a little peek here. Maybe 5 to the right. All right. And we got the driver selected. Now, let me look up here because I've forgotten what these notes. So the first one is about setting an alternate distance, which we're not going to do. Tee shots landing on fairway left of center line, bounce 10 yards forward before taking any additional roll. Okay, well, if you're on the left, that's fine. And then chips from behind the green, we'll deal with that later. And then first putts. Okay, we'll deal with that later. So I got my driver, going to take my shot. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, 54 right out of the gate. A 54. Oh, I'm on the wrong caddy here. Let me get rid of this and put it. I should have my own caddy up here. All right. What happened is when I was clicking around on all these things, everything got reset to player 1. So let me go back here. Player 2. Okay, 54. I haven't done anything with the all-in-one menu. And that's going to be a 24 in the W column. I got to put that 5 right in there. That's what I had before. And the 24. There we go. And I got blown 15 right, in addition to the shot going 45 right. This is a disaster. So that shot goes 255 right, 65, and then would roll 15, but I'm probably going to be in trees or something. I don't know what I'm going to be in. 255 right, 65. Let's take a look at the board. All right. So that's 255. This is going to be 30, 40, 50, 65. Okay. So I'm actually, from that position, what it would be considered is I would be in the regular rough with no roll. So I just sit there. Now, the problem is that I'm definitely going to be blocked by trees for my next shot. So I don't get any roll. Let's come back here. Let's update the shot. I'm regular rough because I'm less than 1 full square into the trees, but I'm going to be blocked by trees. What a disaster for a first roll. Okay, now you're up, and we'll go over here to caddy 1. Well, I could click the all-in-one menu. I think that'll take us over there automatically. Yep. All right, what's your pleasure?
I'm gonna hit a 5 wood, and I'm gonna aim five to the left.
All right. And you want me to roll for you?
Yes, please.
24.
5.
All right. And you got no wind. So you go 225, left 15 with a -5 roll if you're in a position to roll. 225, left 15.
No, it's
You're
in the
bunker,
sand.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in the bunker.
All right. So 225, left 15 with no roll. And Matt asks, are we playing with the same conditions where we left off last time? And the answer to that is yes. We talked about whether we should change it as if it's a next day or whatever. And I opted to just keep it the way that it was. For no particular reason, just not to have to fool with anything else. Okay. All right. So you may be far here. Let's see.
Yep.
We got to update your shot, and you're going to be in the fairway bunker down here.
Okay.
And your carry objective is 305. So there is no way you're going to reach the green. So I don't think you need to necessarily even worry with the chips from behind green at this point.
No.
Or the first putts.
All right, I'm going to hit a 5 wood. And I'm going to aim 10 to the left.
See, you're short-sighted.
Right.
So you can work the ball if you want, but you're not permitted to aim.
Okay, well, just let it rip then.
22.
3.
All right. And once again, you managed to avoid the wind. You got a 450, left 15.
Right. And roll?
-10.
Okay, so I'm at 440. And I'm short-sighted.
Yep. Nice shot.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's update your shot. Oh, I got to put the -10 in. I forgot. All right. And you're in the fairway. Okay. Now, I'm hitting around trees because I'm blind. I have no tree clearance. I mean, I can eyeball that and see that I have no tree clearance. And again, for people who see what I'm talking about, it's a straight line from your ball location to the front of the green. And I don't know whether I'm going to be affected by this dog leg or not. Those are gentle dog legs, so that's not going to affect me at all. But I've got to hit around this. And again, if you're a longtime Game Caddy user, you're going to know what I'm about to say. But if you're relatively new to it, but you do know the APBA Master Game rules, the Game Caddy takes all that into account. So I'm going to hit around trees, which means I'm going to click that. It's automatically going to tell me that I have to aim 65 left. Now, in truth, it's doubling that aim internally. It doesn't look that way on this screen, but it's actually aiming 130 to the left. Okay. And now I'm going to be limited in how much I can work the ball back to the right. I may end up just playing safe here after I go through all of this. And I'm also going to be penalized 40 yards of carry because I'm having to aim so much. All right. So 5 yards for every 15 yards. So let's come over here to this club maximums chart and see what I'm restricted to. All right. So my maximum work the ball, oh, well, with a 4-wood is 50 yards. So yeah, let's do it. I mean, who knows where this will end up, but I can work the ball 50 yards to the right to help compensate for that aim of what amounts to 65 yards to the left. All right, so I'll come down here to the work the ball. I'll put a 50 in there. I'll select the 4-wood. And, you know, maybe I'll get a little crosswind here that'll help me out even more. We'll just see what happens here. This, you know, could be a disaster too. So a 35 for my shot number in the W column is a 2. And that is my average W. Now I'm supposed to decide on whether I want to take my average W before I look at the work the ball roll. That average, that will keep me from moving to the left. That'll reduce my left movement because I'm in the rough. So I will take that. I'll reduce it 5 yards. And now, oh, a 66. And I had not looked at that number. I didn't know what it was, and I wouldn't know what it's on Dustin Johnson's card anyway. It's a 1. I'll put the 1 in there, take the shot. Let's see where this ends up. And I got blown 15 to the right. So I still end up 5 to the left. Once all the math is done here, it goes 440, 5 left. And then I'm going to get 5 roll. So 440. Oops, let me come over here. 440, 5 left, and then 5 roll. So what a recovery.
That's a hell of a recovery.
It really is. I mean, that's just, you know, remarkable, you know, Dustin's card and a good measure of luck. You know, not to be greedy, I would have liked to had a good angle here, but, you know, I'm in the same situation that you're in, so not too bad. Okay.
All right.
So Matt says, it sounds like a lot of my second shots. I assumed that he wrote that comment before he saw Dustin's shot. I didn't look over to the chat quickly enough, but you know, who knows? Maybe Matt's as good as Dustin Johnson. I don't know. I've never played golf with him. All right, so let's record that shot. I got to remember to put the 5 roll in here. I'm doing a lot of talking. I get easily distracted here. I'm in the fairway, and you're going to be
so my guess, Scott, is that the average user of the caddy would not have known how to manipulate that ball like you did, because I know I wouldn't have.
Well, I think you're probably right, and that's one of the reasons I like doing these videos, so I can show some of these things. So all of this stuff is covered in other videos, not necessarily live streams, right? But it's covered in other videos that are out there on the Game Caddy channel, not the Play channel. That's what we're on right now, but the Game Caddy channel. And it's also in the user guide. And the nice thing about the user guide is that it's a PDF, so you can search for specific words, phrases, terms, whatever, to narrow down where you need to find the information that you're looking for. But you're absolutely right. I think many users would not have known. That was a more complex situation than what you're typically having to deal with when you play.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that a pop-up didn't occur saying that the maximum you could use is a 7-iron to get out of that.
Yeah, and so, some courses that would have occurred, but that is not like on Acorn Hills or Acorn Hill. That absolutely would be a restriction, although you wouldn't get a pop-up message because the Game Caddy doesn't know that that's a course-specific restriction. The Game Caddy only knows about restrictions that are part of the master rule set. Okay, you're up. So you've
Okay.
got a call distance of 90 yards. Your target is 525 on the center line right here. I'll come back and show you the approach caddy. And if you want to change that target, you can. You're far enough away that if you wanted to work the ball, I believe it's 5 yards or 10 yards, you can. The game caddy does know this because this is a master game rule restriction that I just don't have memorized. But I know you can work the ball using the approach caddy from 90 yards out.
Yeah, I'm going to work the ball.
All right. And how much do you want to work it?
5 to the left.
Okay. Yeah. So maximum work the ball from 75 to 100 yards is 10 yards. So close that, and you want to work at 5 to the left. So we'll come up here to the ball box, and this is the left column. I'll put a 5 in there. And your club is going to be right there in this approach board. Are you ready? Any other adjustments?
No.
And unfortunately, you can't knock down approach shots. So whatever this wind is, it is.
Right. And this is going to be in the A column, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For both numbers.
Yep.
So your shot number is a 24.
That's a 5.
Okay. And what's your a 33 in the A column?
Is a 4.
All right. Let's see where this puts you. 520 left 10. The pin's at 525 left 10. Remember, there's no roll whenever you're using the approach caddy. The ball just ends up wherever it ends up. So you're going to be in great shape, sir. Your shot went right there. So you are one straight line away. Doesn't quite show up the same way from my perspective. It's weird. The camera angle is a little bit different than the angle that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're one straight away. So we'll come over here to the putting caddy, put the one straight in here, and do the APBA dice roll. And so you are 10 feet away for a birdie. Was it a birdie putt? Or no, it's a par putt.
No, yeah. Par.
Yeah. And we'll note that the ball is on the green. All right. Now I'm up. You know, this is basically an identical situation. You've got an A for working the ball to the left. I've got a B. So it's a little bit tougher shot for me, but I feel like I do have to do. I mean, I feel like I've got to do pretty much what you did. 5 to the left. Okay, anything I want to change? I don't think so. And hopefully I'm not going to get any more 54s. All right, a 34. Okay, 16 in the A column, and then a 44. I was almost hoping for a bad number there in hopes that one would cancel out the other. And that's a 2. So I'm going to end up on the right, 515 to the right. I may not even be on the green here. Let's see, 515 to the right. Get rid of your ball marker. 515. And did I say 5 to the right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just barely on the green, but I am 2 diagonals and a straight away. So it's not looking good for me. So I've got a 49-foot putt for par. And so I am from back to front. So neither of us is back to front. So we're not affected by this read result 3 columns longer. That's there. Yeah. Okay. So we're both on the green. So we'll go over here, players, to the putting boards. And Dustin Johnson is not a good putter from distance. I mean, not long distance. He's got a 6 in the P column with a double ones. So I'm just going to play it safe. Really, the best I can do probably is 2 putt here. So I'll play it safe. 16, that's not even a good roll. 25 from 49 feet, 4 feet away. And my second number is a 21, which is a 21 from 4 feet, and that's in. So I bogeyed 10 feet. You're going for it?
Yes.
13 from in the P column.
25.
From 10 feet. Well, you missed it. You missed it by 2. But you're going to think, let's see, and a 34 in the P column from 2 feet.
28.
And that's good. Up to 30 there. All right. So I feel like I got really lucky there.
That recovery shot, like I said, I don't think anyone could have done that because it was very complex, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's look at hole 17.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and just so people don't get the wrong idea, when I do a complex shot like that and it works out as well as that did, don't think that that's normal for me. You know, there's so many moving parts with a shot like that. All it takes is one bad dice roll and, you know, everything blows up. But just all the stars aligned for me on that one.
Yeah, you had 2 good numbers.
Yeah. And I had favorable wind and, you know, some other things. Okay, so let me put up hole 17 here. Now, it's, again, the game caddy is defaulting to you being up because of just the way the game caddy works, and I can change that when we get started here. But let me show the hole. Okay, this is a par 3, 205 yards, actually 210 for us, of course. That little dot there in the center is the 205-yard distance mark. And looks pretty straightforward. I don't remember how much trouble it gave us last time. I'm going to be up. Click on player 2 there to put that star in my box. I've got a bogey. I don't have any bounce back points left. So tee shots carry 10 yards. All right, so let's put that in for both of us. Shots landing, rolling on red crosshairs, roll to the nearest point off green and stop. So those red crosshairs are in the front left of the green. Sometimes these don't show up all that great on my camera, but that's what it's referring to there. All right, so you gotta hit over those or hit to the right of them, and then first bounce from back to front, read 2 columns line. So this seemingly pretty simple hole has got some particular challenges with this pin placement. Okay. Our wind is a -5 on this hole, a carry of -5. So the carry objective is now 205. Don't really have the right club for all this. I'm just gonna hit a 4-iron. We'll see where it goes. I may end up on those red crosshairs. I can't aim because it's a par 3. I don't want to work the ball. 36. Boy, the dice gods are vengeful tonight. This is a 12 in the W column. I don't have to worry about the right crosshairs. 200 right 25 with no fairway roll. 200, 10, 25, 200. That's 200, 10, 25. Looks like, I can't tell if that's sandscape or fairway. Let's see. That's fairway, but I don't get any roll. I just stop right there. All right, so that's my shot. And that recorded it on your caddy because let me get rid of that. That's my mistake. So 200 right 25. So the Who's Away tool, you know, has some flexibility, but you got to really pay close attention. That's why I tell people don't use it indiscriminately. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go, and then I'm going to use the place ball at location tool for it to record over here. And I'm in the fairway. Okay, now you're going to be up. And you don't have any bounce back points left either. Your carry objective is, oh, if we got rid of that 10 that I had there, let me put that back. Your carry objective is 205.
All right, I'm going to hit a 3-iron.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, here we go. 13.
5.
So 205, left 5. Oh boy, looks like a great shot. And with 5 green roll. So you're going to be right on the pin. Because that 205 plus the 5 green roll is going to make that 210, left 5.
Let's put it in the hole.
Yeah, just unless you happen to hit a hash mark and you did not. All right, so your shot landed there and rolled right to there. And let's see. I hope you get a hole 1.
That'd be cool.
All right, so I'm leaving the putting caddy blank because you're right on the pin. 7 feet away.
Ooh.
Ball and green, but a good chance for a birdie there. So again, you avoid this back to front because you were on the pin, so you don't have to deal with that read 2 columns. But I may have to, depending on where I am able to chip to here. Yeah, so I'm 30 to the pin, so that'll be my call distance. I want to hit from the south, so I'm going to click the path button and select south instead of east. So the alternate approach from south. And for people who don't know what I'm talking about, all I'm really saying, and I'll get rid of your ball marker. Well, in fact, I'll use your ball marker to show what I'm talking about. So instead of hitting from this direction, the game caddy will allow me to hit from that direction. I'm hitting from the south, right? So wherever I end up, if it goes right or left, it will be relative to this axis as opposed to that axis. Okay. All right. Do I want to just aim for the pin because I got nothing to lose? I do have, of course, a good angle. 210, left 5. I don't want to end up in the bunker though, and then it becomes hopeless for me. So I'm gonna aim for that little yellow dot on the course. That's 205, right on the center line, and hope I get a diagonal that goes in the direction that I want it. All right, we'll roll 46. Oh, I get a 24. So I get 6 feet minus die. That means I could chip it in if I get a 6 on my roll here. Are you ready?
Sure.
A 6! It's in! It's in! Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So it's in. All I got to do is come over. Oh, we'll close this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And you've been complaining about the dice rolls?
Well,
are you kidding me?
And just again for viewers who are watching this and don't know how to handle a situation like that, because it went in based on the way it went in. I just came over here to putt distance, clicked on it, typed the word in, and then I clicked on ball and green just to make sure that stroke got counted. That's there. So I'm on the green, you're on the green, and now the tables are turned. Okay, you've got a 7-foot putt, which I assume you're going for.
Sure.
All right. I actually hope you make it. Jeff Siegel says he loves it. A 14, that's going to be a 14 on his card, right? I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, and that's in. So you're in as well. Okay. Wow.
Man, you are scrambling tonight. Let me tell you.
Smoking Joe.
And again,
incredible.
again, the intimate knowledge of how to manipulate the caddy, and I don't mean manipulate it in the negative way,
No, I get
but
it.
again, the average person would not have decided to hit from the south on that chip.
True. That's true.
So,
Well,
well,
again, that's why
again,
you need to watch the live
yeah,
streams,
I
videos.
agree.
If you have questions while we're doing the live stream, not you, John, because I know
Sure.
you'll ask. But if
No, no,
somebody is
no.
out there watching, ask a question. I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, no, that's something that people that are serious about playing the game need to understand the nuances.
Yeah, and on the next hole, I may show a chart that's in here. That there's actually, well, the chart wasn't developed by me; it was developed by somebody else. But there's information on the website about how to use the chart. But it's sort of an Easter egg. It's on here. You just have to click on it to bring it up. But I'm gonna show you that chart. But I want to wait till we're in approach range for the next hole to do that, so that people can see what I'm talking about. All right, so let me go ahead and load hole 18. So we're essentially in sudden death right now. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because we're tied at this point. All right. All right. All right. Let me go ahead and do this. Once again, I have to do this whole business with changing the who's away. So I'll do that.
Well,
and I've got to show the hole too.
We can leave it that way, Scott, if you want. It doesn't.
Just leave it. I'm happy to have you go first. I mean, I was happy to do it the other way, just to demonstrate, how you can force someone else to hit first.
Sure.
But it is a little tricky, when you do that, as you've seen, because I've screwed up a couple of times and had to correct myself.
We don't need to do that.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be up, and you actually are going to have an advantage here. Let me show the hole. Mark the pin. Well, I say you're going to have an advantage. You're going to be able to take your momentum point that you've got left. So the hole is here. Let's see. Move this way. Okay, it's a par 4, 451. Pin 3 is where that marker is, and you can see we got a narrow passageway here, and this is a deep bunker here. You don't want to get in that deep bunker. And then, of course, this is all sandscape here and a narrow fairway leading up to this pin. All right, so we'll come back here. So, kind of 250 is where things really begin to get tight in there. And let's see here. You're going to have a 10 left wind. All right.
10 left. Okay.
That may mess you up in terms of taking your momentum. But again, I don't want to influence what you do here. But remember, if you take this bonus point, you can't aim, you can't work the ball, according to the APBA rules. Now, some people just really ignore that rule. You're going to lose 10 shots carry on the tee shot, as will I. So, and then deep bunker shots are automatically played as having a poor lie, where you can't use more than a 7-iron. And then shots landing outside. Okay, we'll deal with these orange and red lines once we get off the tee here. Do you want to use your momentum, or do you want to swing away?
No, I'm going to swing away. And
okay.
I want to aim. Well, I want to hit a 5-wood.
Okay.
And I want to aim 10 to the right.
All right. Are we good?
Yep.
All right. 34. Sorry, John.
16.
Okay. So your shot, with the wind factored into it, went 190 right 20 with no roll, with no fairway roll. 190 right 20.
All right.
Let's take a look at that.
It's in the sandscape.
Yeah, you're lucky you got no roll because you don't want to be in that deep bunker. All right. And again, we're using the Sandscape and Pine Needle rules from last time. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to roll the dice and we'll figure out what surface you're in.
Right.
Sandscape, I believe, is add 2 die. Yeah. And you have a 7, so play it as sand.
Okay.
But at least it's not a deep bunker with a 4 lie. So we'll play that as a fairway bunker.
Okay.
And I'll be up. Now, I do have a momentum, and I am going to take it. And it's going to blow me 10 left. And with my average W, it would go right anyway because it's a 2. All right, and I need to think about this, right? So a 2 would go 280. I can make this go straight down the center line, I believe. Yeah, and straight down the center line is in the fairway. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select reduce 5 yards, take the shot. So that goes 270 and then rolls 15. 270, roll 15, 1, 2, 3, right there.
So the question I have, Scott, is how'd you know it was going to go right down the middle?
Just math, some understanding of the boards. So let me show you.
Yeah.
So with a driver, okay, and a low single digit, right? That ball's either going to go right, left, or it's either going to go right 15 or left 15 before you take your bonus if you have one, okay? And because his average W is a 2, I know that with a driver that goes to the right. Right, that's just familiarity with the boards. Even numbers, low even numbers go to the right. Okay, low odd numbers go to the left when using woods. Right, and well, when using woods or irons, but when you're in the fairway or you're on the tee, the wind was 10 to the left, but it's predictable, right? So I knew that this shot was going to go 15 to the right. If I come over here to the clubs board for a driver, okay, a 2 is 15 to the right. I knew that I could take my average bonus, and then that would make that just 10 to the right. So 10 left is canceled out by 10 right. So that's how I knew it was going to be straight down the fairway. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
All right.
So let me update the shot. I got to put the 15 green roll in here. Or not green roll, fairway roll. All right. And now put me at 285 right in the center of the fairway. And you're going to be up, and you're going to be up from the sand. You do have a sand. No, I see. No, sand points can only be used with greenside bunkers. My bad.
All right. Got a question for Doug?
Yeah, Doug asked, does the game caddy auto-adjust the dog leg factor? And the short answer to that is yes. How it does it, you actually can control in the configuration menu. And I'm not going to, because we're in the middle of a hole here, I'm not going to be able to show you what I'm talking about. But when I say the configuration menu, what I'm talking about is this button right here. So let me just slide this down. If you click on that, what'll come up are a bunch of settings that you can use for the game caddy. And some of those settings have to do with how dog legs work. Now, we're using the original master game rule settings, nothing that I have showed in this video, so you didn't miss anything. But I just kind of left them alone from how we had them set up last time. And with those, gentle dog legs are ignored. And this dog leg that you see on Sandhills here for hole 18, this is a gentle dog leg here. So it's the dog leg doesn't even come into play. Again, that's per the APBA Master Game rules. All right.
Okay.
So let me get you back to where you need to be.
So I can work the ball, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Yes.
All right. I'm going to hit a 5 wood. I'm going to work the ball. I'm going to work the ball 15 to the left.
Now let me. This again. This is going to be a little bit more complex, John. But I want to show you something, and it may contradict something that I said earlier, and I will own that. So you are short-sighted in this situation. I know that, from looking at the board, of course, but it also tells me that up here on the game caddy.
Yeah.
Now, when you're short-sighted, I said that you can't aim, but I make an exception to that when you're not trying to reach the green.
Right.
Okay. So in this situation, what we can do is if you want to aim, and aiming is way more accurate than working the ball. If you want to aim, then we can use the layup tool here, and that will keep you from getting that warning that you're trying to aim when you're short-sighted. So that would be my advice to you. If you're trying to put the ball, and I think you are, somewhere over here,
correct.
Okay, so that you'll have a good angle for your next shot.
Correct.
That's a layup, and we can get around that restriction of not being able to aim when you are short-sighted by using the layup tool.
All right.
You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click layup, and I'll change that N to a Y. Okay. And how much do you want to aim?
15 left.
All right. Now you're going to lose 5 yards of carry because of the aim
Right.
distance adjustment that's there. All right. Are you good? Are you happy with everything?
Well, so far.
Okay.
5 wood.
Until we roll. All right. 5 wood selected, and I roll a 35.
That's a 4. And that's my average, right?
It is. And so what you can do is you can shave 5 yards right off of this shot. Now, again, I'll help you out in the sense of telling you that because you're in the sand, that's a low even number. You're using a wood. That shot would be going to the right. So you would be taking 5 yards right off of that shot if you choose to use your bonus or your average.
Just let it go.
Just let it go?
Let's see what happens.
All right. So, and again, we have this wind of 10 left. So that's why you ended up at 405, 10 left with minus 10 roll. Hopefully you're going to miss that bunker up there, but let's see.
No, I'm in the bunker.
Are you 405, 10 left, and then minus 10?
Yeah, I defeated every purpose I had here because I wanted to be on the other side. That's what I'm confused about. It was a 10 wind, and I looked at 15 the other way.
John, let's see. I don't think you're in the bunker.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is it 405, 10 left? Is that what I said? I think.
I think so, but I got to go.
Yeah, 405, 10 left. You're right on the edge. I would call that fairway.
All right. Yeah.
Now you're still going to lose 10 yards, but you're going to roll along the edge of that bunker. So you're going to. I'll just do it without moving the camera over. So you're going to end up right here, and that's on the edge. Again, if you're on the line, you get to choose, and why wouldn't you choose to be in the fairway there?
Sure.
So that's a fine shot.
390? Is it 395?
It should be 395.
Okay.
So I'm going to put minus 10 in here for your roll.
Oh, it was 405. See, I couldn't see on my screen. It's kind of small. All right. Get it. Well, let's see.
All right, so we'll update that shot. All right.
Okay.
All right, so this shot's going to go 10 left. I've got a carry objective of 160, which is an 8 iron, and I can aim. And we've got all this business up here. So shots landing, rolling on green, outside of the red line, roll 5 yards away from the red line. Okay, before main roll. Shots landing, resting on any orange dot. Okay, roll one square die. All right, so basically, if you're not in the center of the green, you are going to roll away from the center of the green. So what do I want to do? And I could knock this shot down, and that would have this and make it 5. But there's no. Again, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head, there's no perfect solution here. I think I am going to aim. I'm going to aim 10 right. I'm just going to aim for the center line here.
Mm-hmm.
So that aiming right 10 will, in essence, cancel that 10 left out. And I want to go 160. Sounds like an ice cream truck. It could be in my neighborhood. I'm not sure.
No, it's my clock.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about your clock. Okay, so 8 iron. Yep, that looks good to me. So now I'm going to roll. We'll see what we get here. 32, terrible roll. So despite all my manipulations, this is not going to work out well. Okay, 26 is 440, right 25, and minus 10 fairway roll if I'm in the fairways. 440, right 25. Yeah, and I'm going to be short-sighted. I don't know if I'm going to be close enough to the pin or not. Let's see, minus 10. 430, right 25. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not within 20. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. You're up. Your call distance is 55 yards. You have a good angle, and you're hitting from the south.
Yep, let it go.
Okay, just one quick question here. Smokey Joe asks, does the negative roll stop at 0 roll? You can certainly play it that way, and there are features within the Game Caddy that will allow you to have a minimum roll, although that minimum roll is a -5, I believe, with the fairway. But again, there's nothing in the master game rules that I'm aware of that talks about stopping at 0 roll. Having said that, there are course-specific notes that will sometimes say that, back up 10 yards and stop, or don't roll at all, ignore all roll, that kind of thing. But a negative number is a negative number to the Game Caddy. All right, I'm sorry, John. What club you're using the 50 to 70? Are you changing the target at all?
No.
All right. All right, so we'll come over here and click 50.
So wait, hold on a second, Scott. I
Yep.
see that there's a wind, but I thought with approaches, the wind didn't come into effect.
It does, although it is cut in half when you're between 45 and 70 yards. So you'll see the wind that was a left 10 is now a left 5. So thank you for catching that. I forgot about it. So while you're currently targeting 445 right 5, which is the pin, that wind is blowing you with a perfect shot, meaning if you got a shot result that essentially said 0, 0 deviation, that shot would be putting you 445 on the center line. So if you want to target the pin, you're actually going to have to aim 10 right.
And you can't aim, right? You have to work the ball, correct?
No, you have a good angle. You can aim.
Oh, well, let's aim 10 left. I'm right. I'm sorry. 10 right.
10 right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just edit that 5 to be a 10. And so what happens is this distance here. This is sort of the final destination distance, taking wind into account. So this bottom arrow takes wind into account, but you can't edit that directly. You have to edit this line here, and it does not take wind into account. So what you're doing, again, I'll put this in plain English for people. What John is doing is, I'll pick a different marker. He's actually targeting this spot right here in hopes, well, the wind will blow him 5 yards to the left. Now, where his shot goes, we don't know at this point, but his target is right there with a 5 left wind. Does that make sense to you, John?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 22 in the A column.
A 4.
All right. So your shot ended up at 440 on the center line. So that would be one diagonal away.
Okay.
13 feet.
Okay.
And again, I said it in the last video. I didn't say it in this video, but I will say that these last 2 hole notes do not, they only apply to WI shots. They do not apply to approach shots the way that I play. APBA, you know, the course boards themselves are ambiguous when it comes to that. But for me, and just thinking about it logically, an approach shot, you know, you're close enough that you can hit it with much greater position, with much less force. And so these effects are not as likely to occur. Other people play it differently. They interpret it differently. They have a different rationale. That's fine. You know, do whatever you want to do, but obviously just be consistent. Okay, so let's record that shot as on the green. And click the all-in-one menu to bring me up. And it says I'm hitting from the east. I'm going to use a similar logic. I'm going to use the path button. I want to hit from the south, so I'll select that. And I'm short-sighted, so what that means by default, the game caddy is targeting that spot right there, but I'm hitting from this direction because of the path change I just made. So if it goes right or left, it goes that way as opposed to that way. All right. So I'll just leave it. Call distance is 30. Take the shot. I didn't get lucky enough to get a 24 again. Okay. So a 36 in the A column is a 4, which isn't terrible usually. 450 right on the center line.
That's a 36, Scott?
Did I get it wrong? A 34.
34. Is it 34?
Oh,
you said 36, but I'm not sure.
No, you caught me. It's a 16.
Okay.
I rolled a 34, not a 36. Thank you. All right. So we can check. Well, I've already taken the shot. Okay. So I'm gonna have to reset the shot. Take a mulligan here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Open the all-in-one menu. I'm going to change the path again. Choose from the south. I didn't make any change there. 25 to pin. I won't roll again. I'll just take the 16 and take the shot. So that's going to be, that's even worse. 450 left 5. All right. So I'm now, I'll get rid of your marker here. I'm going to end up right there. I'm on the, basically where it says 6. So that's a straight and a diagonal away. Put that down here. Calc. 25 feet away, ball on green. And we go to the putting boards. Yeah, I want to come back here to this just to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing here about putting. I just want to make sure of that. All right, let's go back to clubs. All right, so I'm far at 25 feet away. I'm just going to bank it on Jones not being able to sink it from 13 feet. If you do, you're the deserved winner. I'm going to play it safe from 25 feet. 14, that'll be a 14 in the P column. 25, 14. So I left it a foot away, and then I got a 52, which is a 21 in the P column. That's in from 1 foot. So you're up. Are you ready? From 13 feet. You need, let's see, this is for a par. So a 19 or lower, you win the playoff.
Okay.
21.
27.
Oh, all right. We play on. 27 is going to be 3 feet away. And then the next number is double ones. I'm sure that's going to be in it.
Yeah, why couldn't that be the other way around? 3.
Exactly. Oh, and I forgot to show the approach tool that I was going to use. But again, we can do that. Let's see. I see some comments here before we move on. Jeff says, did I miss the chart? That's what I was just getting ready to say. Yes, you missed it because I didn't show it, Jeff. But we're going to have another hole, so I can show it to you then. And then Smoking Joe asks, any clutch points on the putts? I can't read the screen to see if you have any. So as I recall, Bobby Jones, meaning John, had 2 clutch points. We decided on our last video not to use these clutch points. We could have, and Johnson has 1 clutch point. And again, we could use them in sudden death, and why not? Let's do that. So it's all even Steven at this point. So we'll use the clutch points going forward. That will give you a 2-number break, which wouldn't have helped you on this last hole, but it will going forward.
Okay.
All right.
So where are we going? Which hole?
We are going, let me call it up here.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned at the beginning of the night, I went ahead and did a random number generation for holes numbers 1 through 15. And this is the order that they turned up. So, and there's no replacement here. So our next hole is hole 13. All right. And the game caddy doesn't have any trouble playing holes out of order. You might get that message, but that's the only thing. You just can't play the same hole twice. That's the limitation that you've got. So I want to come over here. I want to come over to the scorecard, make sure I got everything entered. I do. So we both ended up so far 1 over in the playoff round. So we play on. Sandhills, hole number 13. Yes, that's the hole we want. I got to find 13. All righty, there we go. Okay, we have no wind on this hole. Tee shots, -5 carry for both. And then second shots are going to be -10 carry. And then shots landing in the fairway at 350 or longer are going to lose 5 yards roll. And then we got more red crosshairs and then some deep bunkers too. So let me show the hole here to everybody. Okay, so 385 par 4, par 4, hole up here. We got a gentle dog leg here, so that won't affect us. And again, some pretty tight fairways here. There's the deep bunker we were talking about. These look like trees here. Yep. All right.
Okay, so I have a momentum point, right?
You do, but you didn't birdie the last hole.
Okay. All right.
So the carry objective is 400, of course. It's a par 4.
We have wind?
No wind.
No wind. Okay. Well, then I want to hit a driver, and I want to aim 5 to the right.
All right. You all set?
Yep. Let it rip.
Are you thinking?
Driver. You just have to press the dice, right?
Oh, I thought you said, wait a minute. That's what I was
no.
Sorry. Okay. Here we go. 15.
3.
All right. So you're going to go 265 left 10 with 15 roll.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Nice shot.
Thanks.
I'm going to go with a 4-wood. And 10 left, maybe. I'm not sure what to do there. Maybe 5 left. All right. Let's see what happens here. 36. Ah. Okay. Frustrating. That's a 12. $225, right 25 with 5 roll, but I probably won't even get it. Or maybe I will. I may be in that bunker. 225, right 25. No, I'm not in the bunker, but I do get the 5 roll. I'm in Sandscape right there. And I'm not going to be blocked by trees. It doesn't appear to me anyway. Yeah. Okay. 5 roll. Oh, and I got to figure out what my that surface is going to be. So we'll do the roll here. 8 is add 2 dice, and an 8 is play a sand. So that's going to be the same as a fairway bunker. And I'm going to be up. And I'm going to lose 10 yards on this shot, as will you. I do have a good angle, but when you're hitting from the sand, you know, it's almost best to aim for the center of the green. So let's see. The center of the green is going to be at 170. So if I hit a 7-iron, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to hit a 7-iron, no adjustment. We got no wind. Let's just do it. 41. In the I column is a 4. Now I'm going to come up a ways short here. So 380 right 10 went the wrong direction. 380 right 10, and if I'm on the green, I roll back 5. Right 10.
You might be on those red marks.
I'm just past the red mark, but I may roll back onto it. Let's see what it says here. All shots landing or rolling on red crosshair stop immediately and roll backwards 5 yards. So I'm going to roll back onto the red mark. That means I would stop at that point, and then I'm going to roll another 5 yards. So this is going to end up being a -10, I think. So, I roll off the green. I'm in the fairway there, but with a good angle. So it's -10. Well, I'm having to really scramble to keep up with you. All right, your carry objective is 125, and you're short-sided.
Well, I've been sitting here thinking about this. I'm going to work the ball. I'm going to hit a gap wedge.
How much are you going to work the ball?
I'm going to work the ball 5 left.
Okay, and your club?
Gap wedge.
All righty. Ready?
Yeah.
So your shot number is a 56.
And that's a 16.
Yeah. And your work the ball number is a 62.
12.
No, I don't think so.
62?
Yeah.
7. Sorry,
Yeah.
7.
All right. So 390
Oh,
left.
God.
So the pin's at 395. All right. So let me do this.
So what did it do? 390, left 5?
Left 25. 10.
Yeah.
1, 5. And then you're going to roll back 10. That's because your fairway roll is a -10.
All right.
So -10 there. So you should be at 380 left 25.
Right. All right.
You're in the fairway. And you're going to be 20 to the pin. So that's you don't have to worry about hitting the ball and it not ending up on the green.
Yeah.
Now, I could putt from here. Would that be an insane thing to do? Yes, it would. Because I would have to go for it if I putt. We yeah, that's. Oh, I need to show you the chart.
Show me how you could putt from there. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before I do that, because I don't want to forget again, there's another chart here called approaches, and if you click on that, you pulls up the approach caddy assistant. And like I said, if you go on the Game Caddy website, you'll find an article that goes into depth about how to interpret this and how to use this chart. But it gives you some idea of if you're going to hit with the approach caddy, whether you're likely to miss long, short, right, or left, depending on your distance and your lie. Okay. I rarely stop to use it because it's a little time consuming. And, I'm just like anything else, you can commit it to memory, I suppose. But I just wanted to show that does exist. And it does give you a legend down here that kind of explains everything that you're looking at. Where did I get that again? I put a little check mark here in the approaches box in the all-in-one menu. All right. Now, John, to answer your question, if I wanted to putt from here, okay, let me show folks where I am. Okay, I'm in the fairway. I'm 1 square off the green. And so what I would have to do is I'd have to count how many diagonals and squares I am from this point here to the flag. Okay, and I think I did this in the last video. The putt wasn't nearly this long, but I think I did chip using my putter off the green. And so you'd add all that up. So that'd be 1 diagonal, 2 diagonal, 3 diagonal, 4 diagonal, and 1 straight. And I come over here in the putting caddy, and I would put that in here, right? and then I would hit the calc button, and then I would come down here and use the putter off green tool that's over here. And then that pops up a dialog that walks you through the rest of it. But according to the APBA rules, though, when you're putting from off the green or chipping from off the green with a putter, I guess more precisely, you can only do that from the fairway. And you, if you're one square off the green, then you have to go one column to the right for your club. So that would mean, and you have to go for it. So if I was, 50 to 60 feet away, I'd have to actually use the 61 to 100 foot column, and I would have to go for it. I don't have the option of playing it safe. That's here.
Hold on a minute, Scott. What?
Sure. I'll just go ahead and finish my explanation for everybody else. If you're 2 squares away, then you'd come over and you'd have to add 2 more columns to the right, and you have to go for it. All right. Hopefully all that's clear. And if that wasn't, totally clear, go back and watch the last live stream, because I did it in that live stream. All right.
That's what's his name? Robert Wagner.
All right. So I'm hitting.
Okay.
Sound, and I'm call distance is 30 yards.
You're going to putt?
No, I'm going to chip.
Okay. Because the putt would be over 100 feet, I would be sure.
Probably, yeah. So what I am going to do is I'm going to target pin location number 6. Okay?
I got one more question, Scott.
Sure.
So go back to that putting chart again.
Okay.
So 100 plus. There's no 2 to the right, so
yeah.
that would have that's by default, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So up to a maximum of 100 plus feet.
Okay. I was wondering if it said go to the next column, you couldn't putt.
Yeah. No. Again, something that's not addressed in the rules. Okay. All right. So let's go back here. I'm going to target pin 6. So I can figure out the math on that from looking at this right here. So if that pin, oops, let's do Control W to make that a little bigger. So if that's at 395 left 10, what I really want to do is target 390 left 5. So 390, there's no wind I have to worry with here. Left 5, and we're hitting from the south. And my call distance is 25 yards. Shot is a 62, which is a 3. All right, so it's 0, right or left 5, okay? Some people struggle with this, but let me show you all that this is saying. Come over here. So it goes to this spot here, because that's the 0 spot. That's where I was targeting. And because I was hitting from the south, the tee is always south, I get to choose whether I want it to go 1 to the right, actually to the left, or 1, meaning 5 yards to the left, or 5 yards to the right. Well, of course, I'll take 5 yards to the left. I get the option. That's how it reads, and I'm going to be 1 straight away. So again, I'll just show you that note again. 0, right, left, 5. That's what that means. You go to your target, and then you move either 5 yards to the left or to the right. You get to choose. And it says update with the place ball tool or ball on green tool. In this case, because we know we're 1 straight away, I'm just going to use the ball on green tool. So put 1 straight in here, calc, and I'm sitting at 5 feet away for a par putt. So another miraculous recovery by Johnson. All right. Now you're up. Show you where you are. I'll get rid of my ball marker here. You're within 20. All right. You're in some ways that's really fortunate. I mean, because that means you don't have to worry about, trying to target the pin and then somehow ending up off the green. When you're within 20 yards of the pin, you always end up either in the hole or within a certain foot distance of the pin on the green. And that's how the APBA boards work. All right. So you're 20 to the pin. We ignore the call distance. Remember, whenever you're 20 yards or less from the pin, you use the pin distance, not the call distance, and vice versa. So come over here, select 15 to 20. We'll putt. This is going to be your.
Well, I have a question.
Yep.
Could that shot have been hit from the south?
No, you don't need to. When you're 20 yards away, you don't need to worry about what direction you're coming from.
All
20
right.
yards, because what's going to happen is as soon as I hit take shot, a number is going to appear over here in the putt distance. So you're
okay. All right.
What is that? What is your number? A 22 in the A column.
A 4.
Right.
Yeah, 4.
All right. So you're going to end up with a 6-foot putt for par. So we're coming down here to a couple of short, medium putts, whatever. But you got to putt first. So Bobby Jones is up.
Okay.
We both have to go for it from 6 feet. All right. All right. So here's your numbers. Your first number is a 24.
28. He missed it.
Yeah, it's a 28 on everybody's card. So a 28 is missed it by 1 foot. And then a 52. That's a
16.
What? Yeah, that's actually a good number for a 52. And that's, of course, in from 1 foot. All right. So it's up to Dustin. I'm 5 feet away
Here
for
comes
a
an
par
11.
and the championship.
Here comes an 11.
So this is for a par. I need a 25 or lower. 45 is a 17.
There you go.
It's in.
The gods were with you, Scott.
Finally.
With a lot of shots. They were with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the best and worst of both worlds. And I feel very fortunate to have come out on top, given some of my tee shots, but it is what it is, right? It certainly could have gone the other way, no doubt.
Well, that recovery shot when you were in jail was the whole difference in the match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that shot was not only miraculous, it put you on the fairway in great shape, which I would have lost a lot of money on that bet.
Yeah. So, some might say divine intervention, although I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah. I definitely believe in the dice gods. That's for sure. And other people I played with will tell you that I can have cold streaks that are seemingly endless. But tonight, certain things did go my way, so I'm happy with that. Well, John, thank you so much for hanging in there and playing this out. What we ended up with 4 playoff holes altogether?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We'll do it again before long. I know some other folks have asked if they can have a go at doing a live stream, so try to work them in if they're still interested in.
Sure.
But I hope to be doing this on a more regular basis so that it becomes part of the APBA golf routine for me and others.
Well, I think the more sophisticated maneuvers you use would be better for people that are watching, because, like I said, I learned a lot about how to use the caddy more to my benefit in situations that I would have just said, "Oh, I just got to chip out. I can't do anything with this."
Right. Yeah. And I want to stress that the game caddy does have the flexibility to do things differently than the way that I do them. And there's certain in the configuration menu that I mentioned before, there are a number of home brew features that are in there because other people requested them and said, hey, when I play, I tend to do it this way. Could you make the game caddy do it that way too? And so there are lots of options. And so if you play differently, don't think you can't use the game caddy or you're being locked in to doing things a particular way. If you know enough about how the game caddy works, there's lots of workarounds with things.
Well, the next time we do it, maybe we can play birthplace.
Oh, that's a fun course
Yeah.
to play because it's wide open fairways, and you're doing
Right.
things like aiming 65 yards left and not having to worry about whether or
Exactly.
not it's going to be in the fairway
Yep.
or not. All right.
All right,
Well,
Scott.
take care.
Take care.
Thanks to everybody who dropped in and participated. Love the comments and the questions. And until next time, grip it and rip it.